Alright, yo, what's going on, all my gamers, all my Genshin gamers? So, chat, I'm not gonna lie to you, I already know about a little bit about this situation with these voice actors and KINICH's new voice actor who has just been announced. You know, they just replaced KINICH's VA. If people who don't know, a lot of hoyoverse games have been pretty much not voiced for the most part because of a strike going on with VAs and because they use pretty much American voice acting companies, not like games like Wuthering Waves, which use like European ones. I think they're mostly European ones. Anyways, chat, I'm going to be completely honest with you right off the bat. You know, I'm going to tell you guys my bias. I'm coming in hot. I know about the situation already, so I'm just gonna, hey, if I let it fly, I'm gonna let it fly. I don't these voice actors have been pissing me off already, so let's get into it.
Hope you guys are having a great week, and thank you for tuning in. So a few weeks ago, you may have seen a video I made talking about English voice actors, specifically SAG-AFTRA union members, and how we can see across the internet that public perception has been shifting against those union voice actors more and more. Many people criticizing the actions of SAG-AFTRA and their members. Interestingly enough, I actually had two different union voice actors come to the comment section of that video angry with the video. But to one VA's credit, she actually deleted her comment after
who it is
posting it. Probably realized it was a bad move to make that comment, that the stuff she was trying to say about my video was incorrect, and that she was really only making the union VAs look worse. And so I won't be naming that.
That's like a big thing with these union VAs. They're big on making their case look worse. Like, have you guys remember the whole thing with what's his name, with Lycan's VA? I said the same thing. You know, this guy, all he did was at the end of the day make the situation look worse on his side and make people not want to support him and the other VAs, which I'm going to be completely honest, they're pretty good at that. I'm not going to lie.
That voice actress, but there is another voice actress, the second one who came to my comment section, and her comment is still there. Let's take a look at this. Allegedly from this English voice actress,
HeroHei
says,
I don't know
this video is full of misinformation. If you're not a member of SAG-AFTRA, maybe don't make videos like this. Thanks.
No, we will. We will be doing this continuously. We will be talking about this a lot.
They got a response from only 17 hours ago, actually, that reads, so you're not allowed to talk about an issue if you're not a member
of
the protection racket being called out? That's not how it works. Now, interestingly enough, there's a post on the Genshin Impact subreddit from only 7 hours ago calling out the recent actions of
It's Candace's VA. Oh my god, that one hurts, dude. I really like Candace.
Kirby. We're not going to read that just yet, though, because I'd like to give you all the context, because this whole situation involves many more people than just Kirby. As so many people on the internet right now are calling out union voice actors overall, including SAG-AFTRA itself. So I'll give you the context about what started all that over the last 24 hours or so. And it all begins here on March 26th. This post now 2.9 million plus views over.
Shout out to Jacob Takanashi, by the way. I haven't really heard how he sounds like in the new update, because I've been playing it on Mandarin this whole time since I think the Hu Tao Lantern, since the Lantern Right patch, or even before that. I think since all of Natlan, I've been playing it in Chinese because I've just been so sick of it. No, after 2.2, I believe, and then the last part, I believe, which was 2.3, I played that all in Chinese because I was just sick of everyone being muted. You know, we knew this was gonna happen. At a certain point, everybody was muted, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna have it in Chinese, and I've been actually enjoying it in Chinese. I'm not gonna lie, it's very good voice acting.
On Twitter, from voice actor Jacob Takanashi, makes this announcement about how he's joining Genshin Impact as a new voice actor.
Side studio Chinese.
Role announcement.
Side studio.
I'm honored to join the English cast of Genshin Impact as the voice of KINICH. Taking up the mantle of Malipo is a privilege, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to carry the flame from the previous flame bearer, John, who did an incredible job. Those are big shoes to fill, and I promise to give it my all, out of respect for him, for hoyoverse, and for you, the fans. Thank you to Diana for their amazing direction and for helping me navigate the intricacies of this incredible game.
Nice.
And to side Tokyo and hoyoverse for the honor of bringing KINICH to life.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So if anyone who doesn't know, I think they've just recently signed to Side Studio for English dubs. So I guess there's a Side studio in Tokyo. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I'm deeply grateful for the privilege.
I don't know where this is. I know it's in Europe because
However, in the responses, we can see a number of voice actors getting very upset at Jacob Takanashi. Comments from Western voice actors such as Kaylee Mills.
Oh, man, that's so disappointing because I actually really, really like Kaylee Mills. I kind of want to let her slide because she's very interactive with her, community, which she plays Rappy. Oh my God, come on, bro. And then Valeria. Oh, here's Valeria. Here's this fucking clown, bro. There she is. Who gives a oh my God, dude. I just look at her and it pisses me off.
Saying, this is actually kind of diabolical. If you need the money, at least take the role uncredited. This just comes off as an easy grab for clout. It's not a good look.
It's a job. Someone has to do the job. Unfortunately, this job has to be done. And I get it, right? I get it. If they want to have a strike, I'm all for it. For the most part, actually, up until recently, I was all for them. I stopped playing my games in English and all that. I really, really wanted to, how do I say this? I really did believe in their cause and stuff like that. But after, I don't know, how long has it been? 5 months? I don't know. It almost feels like it's been like a year since a lot of these roles have just gone unvoiced. It's just like, man, there's only so long, like it's holding up us as, some people, it'll hold up us as gamers and like players of the game. It's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of wild.
Valeria Rodriguez leaving a number of thumbs down. Stephanie She saying, there are many reasons why roles get recast. I personally draw the line when the original actor is holding out because they are fighting for better work conditions. I've refused many auditions to take over roles from my peers because I'd never do that to another fellow actor.
I mean, some people will do it. And you also have to remember, he's in Tokyo, by the way. He's a Japanese-based, or he's a Japan-based voice actor. And they're treating him like he's out here in NA, like having to deal with this stuff. Like, bro, come on, relax.
And Karina Boetker saying, this wasn't a passing of the torch. Karina being the English voice of Paimon in Genshin Impact.
Oh, of course. Of course, chat. It's Paimon's voice actor. I gotta tell you, one of the biggest improvements is listening to Paimon in Chinese because it's less shrill and it actually it's like super cute and very like calming and smooth. I don't know.
And someone that we'll be coming back to later in this video.
I'm like, chat, I got, I'm like so close to just letting it rip, but I'm just like waiting for right now before I pop off. Trying to like stay calm for right now. Let's go.
As Karina also made other statements relating to the situation that many people in the Genshin fandom are pointing out and exposing for immense hypocrisy. But yeah, these sort of comments from voice actors upset with Jacob go on and on. For example,
let's see. Is he gonna read the rest of them?
Here's another one. Ruben Lack saying, dude, really classless move considering an actor was fighting for AI protections on this job. I appreciate folks want the paycheck, but they should know crossing a picket line is an immediate and permanent black mark. Another voice actor, Luis Bermudez, saying, my hope is you were misled and weren't fully aware that John was withholding his work to fight for a better future for actors everywhere. If that's the case, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now. But if not, and you continue in this role, yikes, man. It's also not...
Spoiler alert, he actually is in the role and he's voiced.
Just English VAs leaving negative comments to Jacob, but also various union supporters in general. For example, this response to Jacob's statement reading, let's call it what it is. You're an effing scab.
Okay. All right.
However, there's also a lot of comments defending Jacob. For example, the comment there in the center reading, y'all harassing him should realize that he's working from Japan. The strike is only happening in America. He's not under the strike in any shape or form just because he does VA work in English. And other comments like...
Wait, does it say where other roles he's been
America. He's not under the strike in...
Father, Husband, Farfetch, Card and Seal. Oh, he's in Final Fantasy. Wow.
Any shape or form just because he does VA work in English.
There's also like some CCs who do support the strike as well. I've been looking over on Twitter, because this has been kind of... It hasn't gotten a lot of attention over here. From us CCs, but there are some CCs who have talked about it. You know me, I like to talk about VA stuff because I'm a very big fan of the craft of voice acting in general. I have some voice acting friends, and it's like I also want to see these people get paid, and I'm all for it. Like I'm not out here like you guys have to, sit down, fall in line, and know your role. But at the same time, it's like, you can't exactly just bring people down just because they need to work. dude, do you know how expensive things are? Like, unfortunately, people have to work, and if you're a VA, you have to work constantly because, like, Plus, I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, I get it. I get it, right? I get it. I get it. I got it. But I'm just saying, Hoyo is gonna be pretty much voiced for the next, I don't even know how long. If you don't have KINICH now, you could probably get someone later on in Honkai Star Rail or Zenless Zone Zero or that next game that they're working on.
English. And other comments like, why pile on the guy? He's a VA based in Japan. They have different labor laws in there. And congrats on your new role. Warning you now that fandoms can be toxic, and apparently other VAs too. Don't give in.
Yeah, don't ever look at Twitter. That's where these people like to dick around and do dumb shit. Like, my God, bro, it annoys me just thinking about it. But I'm just saying, Twitter is probably the best place to not be if you're a VA.
While I do think any Genshin fan would admit that the Genshin fandom can be toxic,
yeah.
It's really interesting because in this particular situation,
especially TikTok,
it seems like the Genshin fandom at large is actually defending Jacob. And we'll get to that when we hop over to the Genshin subreddit in a moment. First, we'll get some more additional context. That takes us over to John Patnoid. Hopefully I said that right. This is the voice actor who got replaced by Jacob. John says, "Hey everyone. If you've been playing the latest 5.5 update in Genshin Impact and you're hearing KINICH speak for the first time in 6 months, it's not my voice. I've been recast. I've been withholding voiceover."
It's been 6 months. And that's just for KINICH. I'm trying to think. I think just at the beginning of Natlan, it's been a thing. I'm like trying to think. I think Fontaine is fully voiced. So it should just be Natlan where it's not. Yeah, 6 months, bro. That is so long.
Services during the SAG-AFTRA interactive strike because Hoyo/Cognosphere would not offer AI protections in the form of a SAG interim agreement. Now let's pause there real quick because this is something a lot of people are taking issue with, specifically how it comes off like these union voice actors and executives are conveniently leaving things out and really only telling the public certain bits of information and simultaneously trying to have all the public support them as if they're entitled to the public supporting their cause no matter what, especially with how these negotiations may negatively impact non-union voice actors. And all this has been costing the union voice actors support. A lot of people are no longer willing to support the union VAs. And as has been a recurring theme throughout this video so far, that's something else we'll also be getting into more details about in a moment once we get through the rest of this context.
I think that's the worst part too, is that in the beginning, we were, especially me, I was very on board with supporting them. It's just, it's just devolved into such a thing where it's like, I can't, bro. Like, I see the way they act and the way they treat other people, especially the way they treated the new voice actor. I can't, bro. I just can't anymore.
So, back to the statement. John says, "They'd kept my character's dialogue silent for months, all the while I had to make the difficult decision to continue not going in until an interim agreement was signed, and this ultimately was why I was recast. Now, obviously, a recast is not what I wanted. I'd hoped that any progress behind the scenes would be made, and I could come back safely, or that if recast auditions went out, my colleagues wouldn't read for them. Unfortunately, I was wrong. I absolutely adored playing KINICH. Genshin was my comfort game during the early parts of the pandemic, and it was a dream of mine to book a playable character. At the time, I didn't have an agent, didn't live in LA, or had any connections that would get me close. But 4 years later, I did it, and the messages I've received from you all, saying how much my performance as KINICH meant to you, made my heart swell. I would and can return if Hoyo invites me back and signs an interim. I stand by my choices regardless of the outcome. Also, the strike is still ongoing. Please don't believe this information on the internet. My best wishes to the cast and the production team. Thank you for everything, JP." Alright, with all that context, that takes us over to the Genshin Impact subreddit as previously mentioned. In this post reading, Kaching's VA, Kaching being a character from Genshin, used their character to attack KINICH's new VA. Are we just going to accept this nonsense?
Wait, where?
KINICH's new VA, Jacob Takanashi, is currently being bullied by some VAs, including those who voiced Genshin characters like
Oh my God, Kaylee voices KINICH or Kaching as well, dude. That's so much worse. Oh God, dude, I actually like her as a VA too. This is the most disappointing part,
Paimon's
bro.
VA Karina and Kaching's VA Kaylee Mills. In Jacob's announcement post, Kaylee Mills attacked Jacob for accepting the job. When someone disagreed with her, she said, "I guarantee you Kaching would be doing the work to educate people and do what's best for the people." What do you think about this? I feel bad for KINICH's new VA. He's just doing his job. He's not a US VA. Here's his post. As of recording, that post over on Reddit collecting over 4,200 upvotes and over 1,800 comments.
Right.
The top comment on that post saying, "Wish she talked this much when people called her out for supporting Mosey's old VA, who is a sexual abuser."
Oh,
She supported him?
I
She
didn't
supported him in 2020
notice
when he
that.
posted his statement, then congratulated him when his role was announced. She doubled down here. Apparently,
Oh my
another one
God.
of his supporters,
Oh, it's so
Sampe
much
from
worse.
HSR, Honkai Star Rail, is also one of the current VAs targeting Jacob right now. Funny how that's a correlation they both have. It's seriously starting to look like a clique.
I bet you they're all in like a Discord or something where they're just all like, "Oh man, we got to go after this guy now." That's so lame,
Or
bro.
some sort of Nepo circle, to be honest. That's a very reasonable assessment, and something a lot of anime and gaming fans came to realize, especially around 2019.
What a bunch of
as
losers,
the whole
bro.
situation with Vic and Funimation at all put a giant spotlight on the corrupt and cliquey part of the industry. Another set of
Funny enough, Vic was actually one of the first like English voice actors I really liked. I really liked him as Edward Elric. Sorry, I couldn't say that properly. I had to like pause there for a second. Anyways,
top comments reading, "Man, what the frick is going on with English VAs? Same as always."
same as
Not
always,
even Zenless
baby.
Zone Zero and Honkai Star
Ever
Rail
since
VAs were
they've
very
been on
supportive
here,
of the new
same
VAs
as
that replaced
always.
former ones who also were fired from the strike. Genshin VAs are incredibly petty and acting like a clique now, not a professional look. I learned my lesson after the Bayonetta fiasco. They're all a bunch of drama queens. What do you mean?
And it's always like these VAs in. It seems to be only the VAs in the gacha circle too. You notice that? I don't see Yuri Lowenthal doing this. I don't see Liam O'Brien out here doing this. Was he, how do you call it? Was he talked down to by the man himself, the Corn, the good old Todd Habercorn? It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Bayonetta's original VA lied about the studio trying to screw her pay for the third game.
I remember
and
that.
asked fans to boycott it.
I remember
until
that.
they being the studio, showed receipts and proved she was making it up. Yeah, that situation was crazy. She literally tried to get the
remember that.
internet
That
to
was
be her
really funny.
personal army, and then it came out that she was basically lying to people according to my recollection and was completely in the wrong. That takes
Yeah.
us to a number of top comments specifically calling out Paimon's voice actor as well for hypocrisy, and as further evidence for how cliquey the English voice actors are, how they'll choose some people to go after, but give others a pass. For example, this comment reading, "Paimon's VA is pissing me off the most. Technically, I'm scabbing, but it's okay because I'm autistic and have to pay my bills."
That's crazy. You know, there's this thing called a job, right? You know, if it doesn't pay your bills, I'm not telling you that you can't look for work elsewhere. I'm just telling you can.
Like what? You don't know what the frick is going on in anybody's life but your own. He could be disabled, he being Jacob Takanashi.
Right.
His mom could have
Shout out to
cancer.
Jacob.
He could be trying to feed his dang kids, or heaven forbid, he could have nothing going on and just wants a paycheck. And you know what? That's his business and no one else's. Let the man be proud to be a part of such a big, successful project and stop being such a hypocrite. A different top post on our Genshin Impact saying Paimon, Kaching, and Cabaret's VAs responding to Jacob Takanashi, KINICH's new VA. I kind of feel bad
It's
for KINICH's new
Cabaret.
VA. And showing a number of tweets from the aforementioned voice actors saying negative things about Jacob Takanashi.
Ugh.
Many of those we already went over earlier in the video, so let's skip to the comments. This
Right.
one's saying, "Oh wow, even Hoothouse VA is going after the new guy."
It's my favorite characters, man. Why? Oh my god. I hope Sayu isn't on here, bro. If Sayu's on here, I'm just like, I'm staying in Chinese, bro. I'm switching my other games to Japanese and just staying off of English. I'm over
And
it.
showing this screenshot, we haven't seen this one yet. This VA Brianna responding to John, the prior VA for KINICH statement.
I know that name, Brianna Knickerbocker. Oh, I'm so dumb. That's literally just Hootao.
Which we read earlier. saying,
I'm
"Thank you
stupid,
for
sorry.
standing strong and holding the line with us. You're a real one." Clears throat. Some of us, SMFH. But if we take a look at the comments in response to her, they're pretty much all against her. For example, going through this just from the top, at this point, companies should just give up on English voice actors whatsoever.
Oh my god, bro. It shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but it really does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying not to let it fly, but you know, we're just keep going through the video. Let's
It worked
go.
for Snowbreak. It can work for
It
all
could-
of them.
hey,
And
Snowbreak
side
is
note,
pretty
if you're not
decent.
familiar with the Snowbreak thing, I did
doing
go over
pretty
that briefly
decently.
at the end of the video I mentioned at the start of this one regarding my last coverage of this English VA stuff.
Right.
So consider checking that out for more info on that. Other comments like, "Y'all are pieces of garbage, man." Gotta love the hypocrisy and self-righteousness.
For real.
Honestly, seeing some of the other VAs attack someone for taking a job, I hope you all get recast. Yeah, there's just dozens and dozens of comments roasting this VA. But
I think at this point, just fire everybody and let's start top to bottom. You know, I want them to start from everybody brand new. And of course, just to be fair, I want them all to have their first priorities, right? Every voice actor has a priority to be recasted immediately, and they just have to do it like this. Are you gonna show up to work to do your voice lines? Yes or no? Yes, keep your job. No, all right, recast. Like, my God, bro, this is so annoying. I'm just over it, bro.
I don't want to get too sidetracked from the Paimon stuff because there's actually still a lot more to go over regarding that part of the whole thing. For example,
this is gonna get so good.
on Reddit, this comment with over 1,800 upvotes saying, how nice of Karina, Paimon's VA, to support VAs not getting paid while cashing a check every patch.
She is quite literally in every single patch and every single voice opportunity because Paimon pretty much talks for you as the character. She is, and she has been doing it for 4 years, by the way. She has not had a single patch off for 4 years on a pretty much generational run of a game where she has the role that will never miss a patch. Paimon quite literally cannot miss a patch. And she is like looking down on people, bro. Whatever.
Also, while having the most lines means most likely getting paid the most.
Yeah.
Like, aren't they the #1 person with the most influence and pull if they stroked? Struck. There are many other top comments over on Reddit calling out Karina, but let's hop back over to Twitter because there are various comments on Twitter calling Karina out directly, to which Karina even responded. In this exchange, we can see where Karina had said to Jacob Takanashi, "This wasn't a passing of the torch." And this user Luminescence saying, "And you working on it is still good for the strike?" Like, make it make sense. Karina then responded with this set of tweets saying, "No, you're right. I am technically scabbing. I originally have this role, and technically I can still work this role. I am a disabled person, and this is the job that puts food on my table."
Thank God. Well, at least we know you're technically scamming. Okay? Like, oh my God. These people are so annoying.
As I actually record this role year round, but I didn't take this role from another person who was striking. I had this role, and I am stuck in it because I have no other way to pay my medical bills. But yes, technically, I am a scab, and you're right, I don't deserve any praise right now. I don't deserve any of it. I deserve to be told off just like this actor, so please do.
They should remove you and probably get someone else who does it better, because, man, Paimon's voice is probably like the most annoying voice on the planet.
No one should look up to me. I'm trapped and coward because I continue this job because if not, I end up homeless. I don't say that because I deserve sympathy. I don't.
Okay,
the ones sticking
bro.
to the picket line deserve all the praise, not me. I love voicing Paimon. Love it. I've been through so much that you guys will never truly understand. But I also know...
So you're telling me you want to stay with this job instead of, I don't know, going and finding another one that'll probably have to, you know, that SAG-AFTRA approved, and we're supposed to be like, okay, we understand. You mean that doesn't look as bad? Weird.
What I am, and I should not be given any applause for this. If I could feasibly stick the line with my fellow actors, I would. This job actually barely keeps me alive. But that doesn't mean that it makes it different. It is not a good thing to my fellow actor that I continue to work on this game. I have struggled with that since the strike started, so call me out for this. Please, I deserve it. If it means we get closer to making things better, then so be it. A top response to Karina saying, "So what? Many disabled people work remotely in other professions. Voice acting is not your only option if it puts you in such an unethical position. But you have to seek attention on Twitter.com like a 16-year-old and present yourself like a saint in the whole community." Karina responding, saying, I
hope that's in their next contract, by the way. You can be a voice actor for this game, but you cannot be on Twitter. Bro, imagine how many people would fold that they can't get on here and virtue signal on Twitter
definitely don't present myself as a saint, but you don't know my disability and what I am able to do. Same way.
Tell us then. Go ahead. Say it. I will say mine with yours. Go ahead.
You don't know any other
Well,
VA
I'm not.
situations
By the way, I'm not. I don't have any disability. By the way, I don't want to make it seem like I do. I don't.
either. Imagine
I
someone
want to get
shaming
ahead of
you
that
for
before it
just trying
sounded
to
like I
make ends
did.
meet, which at this point may as well be warranted. There's also a difference between taking a role quietly and bragging about getting it when the other VA was recast for striking. He wasn't even
Okay. All right. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's all making sense. Isn't it? And that isn't that wild?
aware of the situation. He lives in Japan. Y'all are so out of touch. So let me know what you think about the Karina stuff.
That's the
Do you think
worst
Karina's
too.
response
Shout
was
out to that guy. Shout out to this person's what do you call it? Shout out to this person's Wanderer's profile picture. You can see that right there. They have the Wanderer profile picture, but man, that the people don't understand, and it's really annoying that it doesn't just revolve around us here in America. This game's not even American, by the way. These people are trying to get this to happen from a Chinese company. Okay, yeah, sure, they're gonna sign it. They're so ready to line up to sign it. I promise you. Yeah.
Y'all are so out of touch. So let me know what you think about the Karina stuff. Do you think Karina's response was good, that the points are fair? Or do you think it's an example of hypocrisy from these voice actors? Or perhaps something else? Moving on to the next VA, that takes us back to Shara Kirby in this post that says, Shara Kirby, Candace VA, opinion on Hoyo and Genshin's fanbase. This once again being the VA who allegedly left a comment on my
Wait, what did they say? I'm going to delete some of the thread later because this is a semi-professional page. Batilia, don't talk to me about Genshin Impact ever again. K. Quit. That's it. Quit. Well, actually, you don't have to quit. I don't even remember the last time Candace was in a story. I'm sure it was in an event. Oh, wait, she was in Lantern, right? Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that because I had her in Chinese. Yeah, man, that role for Candace is, it's not really paying dividends, is it? Because I don't think she's back in it. I can't imagine she's going to be back in it. Let's see, what's the next patch? I imagine the next patch is going to be something like the last patch for Natlan, and probably because I think Skirk comes out next patch. So Candace is not exactly, you know what I'm saying? She's not a hot commodity right now in terms of VA work.
And Genshin's fanbase. This once again being the VA who allegedly left a comment on my video, where Shara Kirby is apparently over on Blue Sky saying, in response to Jacob Takanashi,
of course,
his announcement post, this gotta be the most classless thing I've seen with everything going on. Have fun with Genshin. You'll never work on anything else.
Really? You think so? You're telling me that a person who lives in Japan, which more than likely speaks Japanese, will never find another working VA job while he's in Japan, while he's on side studios, probably, I don't know, maybe has a role in Wuthering Waves, or maybe has a future role in Wuthering Waves, or can go to the source and have a original Japanese dub acting. You're telling me he's not gonna have another job? Okay, bro.
LMFAO. It's also interesting how they're recording in Japan for English dub now. Wow, cool. Go to bed and recast me too while you're at it. Screw Hoyo. Disrespectful.
I hope they do. But I mean, again, like I said, is Candace gonna be in the story soon? I don't think so. I don't know about that one, big fella. Especially not when they're going over to Snezhnaya next. I'm just saying, you're not in the best position right now when it comes to Genshin Impact. Oh, you're a loser,
because
bro.
Let's be frank. Who's going to beat me over a video game that underpays its performers and is actively farming their voices so that they don't have to hire real people? I do hope it was worth it. Truly, I do. You'll never catch me singing that company or any company that operates that way to a simple request of protecting the talents they hired. Singing praises for, sorry, not sorry, I rage quit. One more thing. I have never dealt with a fan base as callous and as annoying as the Genshin fan base, who would go so far as to berate the voice actors, who only want better protections and rates for being rightfully upset that someone publicly scabbed.
Because you're doing it so annoyingly, bro. Like you all dogpiled this man. Like, what is wrong with you? Do you not get that? Is that the hard part to understand? We don't buy this. We don't buy this shit no more, dog. Like, we don't, like, none of this stuff. We don't buy none of it. We ain't falling for none of it no more, bro. Like, you guys, oh god, my accent's coming off. Like, we don't care, bro. Okay, I don't want to say we don't care. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like saying things that are just coming off the top of my head instead of like, getting and thinking about it. But you guys are just doing it in such a way where people are not gonna, you're not looking like the good guys by doing this. You know what I'm saying? People are not gonna just support you blindly just because you're like, oh, we need to work because of this. Everybody has to work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a job. Everybody has to show up to work. Like I said, no one else can just not show up for work and expect their job to be there. I can't show up for 6 months unannounced, just not showing up, or even telling them I'm not going to show up. I can't do that, bro. We all have work. We all have to show up, chat.
Just insanity. The only other one I've dealt with like this is the Murder Drones fan base, and
I don't know
only
who that
one
is.
of those doxed me. I'm not in the business of arguing and fighting.
Okay. I'm all for just shit talking these people. I've been doing it all video. I'm going to keep doing it after this video. Dog, that's not okay. That's 100% not okay. Yelling at people, calling them names, that's fine. That's like, what does that really do? But like spreading their actual information, that's not cool, bro. I don't support that in any way, shape, or form.
Fighting with children. I'm going to delete some of that thread later because this is a semi-professional page. But TLDR, don't talk to me about Genshin Impact ever again.
Yeah, because we talked to you about Genshin
comments
Impact.
That post reading, the United States isn't the only place where English is spoken well. Also, there are U.S. citizens across the world right now working remotely. I'm confused too, since when English becoming exclusive to U.S. and U.S. only?
I don't know.
Apparently, Hoyo's characters are theirs and only theirs to voice. They just forgot to notify Hoyo about that. Another top comment in that exchange saying, well, that's one of the most unprofessional.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about who I know someone is British. Who's female rover? Is it Vivian? How do they feel about Vivian? I don't know if it was Vivian. Was it? I don't know. Someone is voiced by female rover who's British. So it's like
nations I've ever seen. If I was a voice caster for any other field of work, I'd probs not hire her based on this alone. It's so unprofessional and going into unhinged territory. Honestly, I won't be surprised if Hoyo is now gathering all this to
Bro, not only her, I want a list of every single one of the people who went out on Twitter and did that. Valeria has her own. I don't even want to see her in my office. Everybody else, I want to see in my office, and we're gonna have a talk after that, bro.
Bring all of them to the negotiating table and have a word with what they just said regarding Jacob. Those may be personal accounts, but I imagine Hoyo doesn't want a bunch of VAs going around starting a civil war with other VAs and make it look like Hoyo's VAs are some cult. There's a pretty well understood line where your personal account ends, and it's right around where you start bad-mouthing the company that pays your salary, lol. It's one thing if these VAs were trashing on each other purely on principle, but they're literally name-dropping the game and the company, and that's a huge no-no in any job. It reflects poorly on the company. Hope she's prepared to explain these tweets to her future employers. This is just hot air. There's no way they actually put their money where their mouth is and resign. Doesn't matter, because that statement is basically all Hoyo needs to get her to never voice for them ever again. Whether she wants to backtrack or not.
Yeah, that whole virtual signaling thing. I don't know how. I mean, go ahead, try it, bro. But I don't know how much China likes it.
This can be considered a surefire resignation in Hoyo point of view, due to the atrocious mannerisms and statements made by her.
Plus, I want to say this. I know we're like 30 minutes into this video. I'm not here to just be like, you guys can't disrespect my billion-dollar company. Everybody knows that although I play all the Hoyo games, I'm not a Hoyo shill. I'm a shift-up shill. Nikkei's the best game ever. Anyways, I just don't like it when people try to get, especially these VAs, try to bully people and just try to misinform people. You know what I'm saying? It's less of, leave my billion-dollar company alone and more of, all right, this is how you guys want to do it. This is how we're going to do it.
Yep, she basically burned every single bridge of possibility that she'll ever get cast in a hoyoverse game ever again. And I'm sure there'll be some game companies that see this as well and would prefer not to take in a VA this volatile in their games. What a way to sabotage your VA career. Essentially, the entire post is criticizing her. Let me know what you think about that part of the situation. And finally, we'll take a look at some public reception for the SAG-AFTRA agreement overall. On a post about the agreement terms, we see top comments like this. Bruh. So if Hoyo is forced to sign, all non-union VAs are effectively forced to join the union in a month or else, which would limit them to only American VAs, giving the union a monopoly over the English voice acting in all the affected projects. I know it's Reddit, but countries other than America exist. Not necessarily only American VAs, but SAG actors, the majority of which are American. It's semantic, but non-Americans can join SAG if they work in the US. Many VAs don't want to join a mafia organization. The mafia is asking for membership protection fees plus continuous fees. It sucks every money from VA.
Man, I just wish I knew more people in that actual, in that union, so I can know more about it and I can just ask them for questions.
Meanwhile, all the union VAs are crying about being misinfo when someone points this out.
Oh yeah.
They're doing the "it's us or them." And they pick themselves.
I pick them.
They're more than willing to screw over non-union VAs because why do they get to make money while I'm jobless? Even though studios like Studio Cadence, ZZZ, have non-AI clause and supports negotiations about AI with SAG, yet these VAs kept pushing AI as an issue to sign the agreement.
I don't understand that, bro. And that is why I went in hard on Lycan's VA. I didn't play softball with him either because it's like you have the clause already. Come to work, bro. They were even they even gave you 5 months and then they're like, I guess we got to do it now. Bro. And you were lying too, bro. Your ass was
lying. To assume that the kind of people who go online and harass a colleague are actually smart people. I bet that 80% didn't even read or grasp what they are striking for, but just get the TLDR from their agent/agency.
I bet there's just some people who do it just because they want to be in that clique, bro.
Interestingly enough,
100%.
Some union voice actors are attempting to say that the union actually does care about non-union actors. For example, in this tweet by Koi Dao, part of it reads, "During the strike, the SAG negotiating committee has expressed they want to help non-union actors keep their jobs and are willing to negotiate a waiver for the must-join rule for any project that needs it." But this person, Lynn, responds, saying, "I don't know. I remember the video from the SAG guy who said non-union VAs are lesser than union VAs, which was deleted after the backlash. So I can't really believe they want to help the non-unions, lol." Once again, we have Karina Bodiger here saying, "You mean the one that wasn't even said during this strike? Keep up, this is a different strike now." Also, the entire union screamed at him for that. To give you additional context, I believe it was Duncan Crabtree Ireland, the National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator for SAG-AFTRA, who made those disparaging remarks towards non-union actors, specifically saying that they're quote-unquote lesser quality. So while some union members gave him backlash on social media for those remarks, it doesn't seem like there's any serious action taken against him. It seems like he still has that top executive position. And furthermore, it seems like his position at the union is getting him a salary of over $1 million a year. Lastly, on SAG-AFTRA's own...
Maybe you guys should be screaming at him for your, if you guys are barely scraping by, and the top executives at SAG-AFTRA are, raking in millions. I don't have to be the one to point it out, right? Whatever.
Website, they have a section dedicated to talking about financial core. A brief summary of financial core reads, "Financial core refers to a legal carve-out that permits workers opposed to participating in a labor union to be employed under the benefits of a union's contracts without compelling them to be a member of that union." In which SAG-AFTRA says, financial core members are viewed as scabs or anti-union by SAG-AFTRA members, directors, and writers, most of whom also belong to entertainment unions. And as you surely know, scab is used as a derogatory term for people who are not a part of the union or who cross picket lines, etc., etc. The point is, while some union members attempt to say that SAG-AFTRA really does care about people who are not a part of the union, it seems like the union's own actions and terms, as well as this whole situation recently with a number of union VAs and how they've treated Jacob, has caused many people to be skeptical, to say the least. But anyways, let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments. Hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.
So there's a follow-up video to this that I do want to go over in a different day. I won't go through it right now, but, I do want to just, I wanted to cover this because a lot of, these VAs, they give out a lot of misinformation. I don't really trust a lot of them, to be completely honest. I did trust Kaylee Mills a lot because I really like her as Rappy and I like her as, as Kaching. It's just, man, it sucks to see that that's how she acted. She was one of my more favorite voice actors. I really like her. I really like Rappy as a character. And, I see her on Twitter, reposting Rappy stuff. I even follow her on Twitter. I'm probably going to get blocked after this, but, chat, I'm just going to say, I do research for yourself. Don't just blindly follow what these people tell you. And I know there are other CCs that you know, some of them are backing it, but I know some other people are also not backing it. You know, I'm assuming it's just people who have VA friends. Me, I don't really have any VA friends. I'm just going at it as someone who's looking from the outside in. I do some research on this stuff because I do like voice acting, and that stuff is very interesting to me. Anyways, chat, comment, like, subscribe, become a member, and I will catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.